Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashaya Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Gauda Premanande. Hare Krishna. Okay. So, welcome everyone. We have Bhava Sarora Prabhu, Ananya, Bhakta Adam in the house, and we have Bhakta Cassidy and Kala Prabhu here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Better already.
And today we're starting at Canto 2, Chapter 1, Text 6. 216. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam namaskritya narang chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayat. Shrinvatam swakata Krishna punya shravana kirtana hridyantasto yabhadrani vidhunoti suhritsatam nashta prayashva badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Alright, here in a mood of gratitude. Srila Prabhupada. Canto 216. Itavan Sankhya Yogabhyam Sudharma Paranishtaya Janmalabha Parapangsam Mante Narayana Smriti. The highest perfection of human life, achieved either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit, by practice of mystic powers, or by perfect discharge of occupational duty, is to remember the personality of Godhead at the end of life. Purport. Narayan is the transcendental personality of Godhead beyond the material creation. Everything that is created, sustained, and at the end annihilated is within the everything that is created, sustained, and at the end annihilated is within the compass of the Mahat Tattva, material principle, and is known as the material world. The existence of Narayan, or the personality of Godhead, is not within the jurisdiction of this Mahat Tattva, and as such the name, form, attributes, and so on of Narayan are beyond the jurisdiction of the material world. By the speculation of empiric philosophy, which discerns matter from spirit, or by cultivation of mystic powers, which ultimately helps the performer to reach any planet of the universe or beyond the universe, or by discharge of religious duties, one can achieve the highest perfection, provided one is able to reach the stage of Narayana Smriti, or constant remembrance of the personality of Godhead. This is possible only by the association of a pure devotee, who can give a finishing touch to the transcendental activities of all jnanis, yogis, or karmis in terms of prescribed duties defined in the scriptures. There are many historical instances of the achievement of spiritual perfection, such as that of the Shanakadi rishis or the 9 celebrated yogendras, who attained perfection only after being situated in the devotional service of the Lord. None of the devotees of the Lord ever deviated from the path of devotional service by taking to other methods as adopted by the jnanis or yogis. Everyone is anxious to achieve the highest perfection of his particular activity. Oops. Sorry. Okay, we're good. Everyone is anxious to achieve the highest perfection of his particular activity, and it is indicated herein that such perfection is Narayana Smriti, for which everyone must endeavor his best. In other words, life should be molded in such a manner that one is able to progressively remember the personality of Godhead in every step of life. Did I skip a sentence?
No.
Okay. Yes. Text 7. Prayena munayo rajan vrita vidhisedataha nagunyastara mante smagunanu katane hare. O King Parikshit, mainly the topmost transcendentalists who are above the regulative principles and restrictions take pleasure in describing the glories of the Lord. Purport. The topmost transcendentalist is a liberated soul and is therefore not within the purview of the regulative principles. A neophyte who is intended to be promoted to the spiritual plane is guided by the spiritual master under regulative principles. He may be compared to a patient who is treated by various restrictions under medical jurisdiction. Generally, liberated souls also take pleasure in describing the transcendental activities. As mentioned above, since Narayan, Hari, the personality of Godhead, is beyond the material creation, his form and attributes are not material. The topmost transcendentalists, or the liberated souls, realize him by advanced experience of transcendental knowledge, and therefore they take pleasure in the discussion of the transcendental qualities of the Lord's pastimes. In the Bhagavad Gita 4.9, the personality of Godhead declares that his appearance and activities are all divyam, transcendental. The common man, who is under the spell of material energy, takes it for granted that the Lord is like one of us, and therefore he refuses to accept the transcendental nature of the Lord's form, name, and so on. The topmost transcendentalist is not interested in anything material, and his taking interest in the matter of the Lord's activities is definite proof that the Lord is not like one of us in the material world. In the Vedic literatures also, it is confirmed that the Supreme Lord is one, but that he is engaged in his transcendental pastimes in the company of his unalloyed devotees, and that simultaneously he is present as the Supersoul, an expansion of Baladev, in the heart of all living entities. Therefore, the highest perfection of transcendental realization is to take pleasure in hearing and describing the transcendental qualities of the Lord, and not in merging into his impersonal Brahman existence, for which the impersonalist monist aspires. I'll read it again. Therefore, the highest perfection of transcendental realization is to take pleasure in hearing and describing the transcendental qualities of the Lord, and not in merging into his impersonal Brahman existence, for which the impersonalist monist aspires. Real transcendental pleasure is realized in the glorification of the transcendental Lord, and not in the feeling of being situated in his impersonal feature. But there are also others who are not the topmost transcendentalists, but are in a lower status, and who do not take pleasure in describing the transcendental activities of the Lord. Rather, they discuss such activities of the Lord formally, with the aim of merging into his existence. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samitam Aritavan Dvaparado Piturdvaipayanaraham. At the end of the Dwapar Yuga, I studied this great supplement of Vedic literature named Srimad Bhagavatam, which is equal to all the Vedas, from my father, Srila Dvaipayana Vyasadeva. Purport. The statement made by Srila Shukadeva Goswami that the topmost transcendentalist, who is beyond the jurisdiction of regulations and restrictions, mainly takes to the task of hearing about and glorifying the personality of Godhead, is verified by his personal example. I'll read it again, kind of screwed it up. The statement made by Srila Shukadeva Goswami that the topmost transcendentalist, who is beyond the jurisdiction of regulations and restrictions, mainly takes to the task of hearing about and glorifying the personality of Godhead, is varied by his personal example. Verified, sorry. Shukadeva Goswami, being a recognized liberated soul and the topmost transcendentalist, was accepted by all of the topmost sages present in the meeting during the last 7 days of Maharaj Parikshit. He cites from the example of his life that he himself was attracted by the transcendental activities of the Lord, and he studied Srimad Bhagavatam from his great father, Sri Dvaipayana Vyasadeva. Srimad Bhagavatam, or for that matter any other scientific literature, cannot be studied at home by one's own intellectual capacity. Medical books of anatomy or physiology are available in the market, but no one can become a qualified medical practitioner simply by reading such books at home. One has to be admitted to the medical college and study the books under the guidance of learned professors. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam, the postgraduate study of the science of Godhead, can only be learned by studying it at the feet of a realized soul like Srila Vyasadeva. Although Shukadeva Goswami was a liberated soul from the very day of his birth, he still had to take lessons of Srimad Bhagavatam from his great father, Vyasadeva, who compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam under the instruction of another great soul, Sri Narada Muni. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed a learned Brahmin to study Srimad Bhagavatam from a personal Bhagavat. Srimad Bhagavatam is based on the transcendental name, form, attributes, pastimes, entourage, and variegatedness of the Supreme Person, and it is spoken by the incarnation of the personality of Godhead, Srila Vyasadeva.
Can I ask, in this connection, what exactly does variegatedness mean? For some reason it slips my mind, like the meaning.
Like variety.
Like multifarious potencies.
Yeah, forms, qualities.
Okay. Yes.
Names even. Pastimes of the Lord are executed in cooperation with his pure devotees, and consequently historical incidences are mentioned in this great literature because they are related to Krishna. It is called Brahma Samitam because it is the sound representative of Lord Krishna, like the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the sound incarnation of the Lord because it is spoken by the Supreme Lord, and Srimad Bhagavatam is the sound representative of the Lord because it was spoken by the incarnation of the Lord about the activities of the Lord. As stated in the beginning of this book, it is the essence of the Vedic desire tree and the natural commentation on the Brahma Sutras, the topmost philosophical thesis on the subject matter of Brahman. Vyasadeva appeared at the end of Dwapara Yuga as the son of Satyavati, and therefore the word Dwapara Ado, or the beginning of Dwapara Yuga, in this context means just prior to the beginning of the Kali Yuga. The logic of this statement, according to Srila Jiva Goswami, is comparable to that of calling the upper portion of the tree the beginning. The root of the tree is the beginning of the tree, but in common knowledge the upper portion of the tree is first seen. In that way, the end of the tree is accepted as its beginning. Text 9. Parinashtito pinargunya uttamashloka lilaya grita chaitara darshe akyanam yadadhitavan. O saintly king, I was certainly situated perfectly in transcendence, yet I was still attracted by the delineation of the pastimes of the Lord, who is described by enlightened verses. Purport. The absolute truth is realized as the impersonal Brahman at the first instance by philosophical speculation, and later as the supersoul by further progress of transcendental knowledge. But if, by the grace of the Lord, an impersonalist is enlightened by the superior statements of Srimad Bhagavatam, he is also converted into a transcendental devotee of the personality of Godhead. With a poor fund of knowledge, we cannot adjust to the idea of the personality of the Absolute Truth, and the personal activities of the Lord are deplored by the less intelligent impersonalists. But reasons and arguments together with the transcendental process of approaching the Absolute Truth help even the staunch impersonalist to become attracted by the personal activities of the Lord. A person like Shukadeva Goswami cannot be attracted by any mundane activity. But when such a devotee is convinced by a superior method, he is certainly attracted by the transcendental activities of the Lord. The Lord is transcendental, as are his activities. He is neither inactive nor impersonal. Taram te vidhasyami mahaparushiko bhavan yashashadadhamasu syan mukunde mati sati. That very Srimad Bhagavatam I shall recite before you because you are the most sincere devotee of Lord Krishna. One who gives full attention and respect to hearing Srimad Bhagavatam achieves unflinching faith in the Supreme Lord, the giver of salvation. Purport. Srimad Bhagavatam is recognized Vedic wisdom, and the system of receiving Vedic knowledge is called Avarodha Pantha, or the process of receiving transcendental knowledge through bona fide disciplic succession. For advancement of material knowledge, there is a need for personal ability and researching aptitude. But in the case of spiritual knowledge, all progress depends more or less on the mercy of the spiritual master. The spiritual master must be satisfied with the disciple. Only then is knowledge automatically manifest before the student of spiritual science. The process should not, however, be misunderstood to be something like magical feats whereby the spiritual master acts like a magician and injects spiritual knowledge into his disciple, as if surcharging him with an electrical current. The bona fide spiritual master reasonably explains everything to the disciple on the authorities of Vedic wisdom. The disciple can receive such teachings not exactly intellectually, but by submissive inquiries and a service attitude. The idea is that both the spiritual master and the disciple must be bona fide. In this case, the spiritual master, Shukadeva Goswami, is ready to recite exactly what he has learned from his great father, Srila Vyasadeva. And the disciple, Maharaj Parikshit, is a great devotee of Lord Krishna. A devotee of Lord Krishna is he who believes sincerely that by becoming a devotee of the Lord, one becomes fully equipped with everything spiritual. This teaching is imparted by the Lord himself in the pages of the Bhagavad Gita, in which it is clearly described that the Lord, Sri Krishna, is everything, and that to surrender unto him solely and wholly makes one the most perfectly pious man. This unflinching faith in Lord Krishna prepares one to become a student of Srimad Bhagavatam, and one who hears Srimad Bhagavatam from a devotee like Shukadeva Goswami is sure to attain salvation at the end, as Maharaj Parikshit did. The professional reciter of Srimad Bhagavatam and the pseudo-devotees whose faith is based on 1 week's hearing are different from Shukadeva Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit. Srila Vyasadeva explained Srimad Bhagavatam under Shukadeva Goswami from the very beginning of the Janmad Yashya verse. And so Shukadeva Goswami also explained it to the king. Lord Krishna is described as the Mahapurusha in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, in his devotional feature as Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord Krishna himself in his devotional attitude, descended on earth to bestow special favors upon the fallen souls of this age of Kali. There are 2 verses particularly suitable to offer as prayers to this Mahapurusha feature of Lord Krishna. Jayam Sada Paribhavagnam Abhishtado. That's wrong. Sorry. Is it? Jayam Sada Paribhavagnam Abhishtadoham Tirtasparam Shivavadinshi Nutam Sharanyam Vidyartiham Pranatapala Bhavadi Bhutam Vande Mahapurushate Charanadavindam Jagvasiduscha Jasuripshita Rajya Lakshmim Dharmishta Arya Vachasaya Raghadaranyam Mayam Ragam Dayata Yipshitam Anvadhavad Vande Mahapurushate Charanadavindam. In other words, Purusha means the enjoyer, and Mahapurusha means the supreme enjoyer, or the supreme personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. One who deserves to approach the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is called the Mahapurushika. Anyone who hears Srimad Bhagavatam attentively from its bona fide reciter is sure to become a sincere devotee of the Lord, who is able to award liberation. There was none so attentive as Maharaj Parikshit in the matter of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. and there was none so qualified as Shukadeva Goswami to recite the text of Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, anyone who follows in the footsteps of either the ideal reciter or the ideal hearer, Shukadeva Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit respectively, will undoubtedly attain salvation like them. Maharaj Parikshit attained salvation by hearing only, and Shukadeva Goswami attained salvation only by reciting. Recitation and hearing are two processes out of 9 devotional activities, and by strenuously following the principles, either in all or by parts, one can attain the absolute plane.
So, to follow in the footsteps of Maharaj Parikshit, Prabhupada does say in that one purport, he drank the juice of Bhagavatam through his ears. Things like that. And I've asked this before, but I need it again. What are the qualifications for bona fide hearing? Sincerity, submissiveness.
Prabhupada just answered that question.
Oh, sorry.
Perfectly. Let me see. I can't remember if it was this purport or I think it was at the beginning of this purport. Yeah, he said right here, the bona fide spiritual master reasonably explains everything to the disciple on the authorities of Vedic wisdom. The disciple can receive such teachings not exactly intellectually, but by submissive inquiries and a service attitude. That's also like, is that Tad Vidhi Pranipatena Paripashnena? No, wait. That's the right verse? Yeah, Paripashnena Sevaya Upadekshanti Te Gyanam Ganinas Tattva Darshanaha. One should approach a bona fide spiritual master.
Offer service.
Wait a minute. No, it says one should learn the absolute truth by approaching a bona fide spiritual master and render service unto him. Inquire submissively, rendering service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they've seen the truth. So submissive inquiries, which means like sincerely asking, like really like, and then submissive inquiry also means like asking in the mood of really hearing what they're saying. Sometimes people ask questions like for other reasons. Like there's a nice thing people like to do called Stump the Swami or whatever. Asking rhetorical questions or asking questions just to solicit a response or any other reason. Also absurd inquiries are to be avoided. Like, well, absurd really means like in the mood of like you're asking but you're not really interested in hearing the answer. It's like a cute fun game or asking crazy questions like, remember we were in Denver and Nagar Kirtan Prabhu was giving a class about this and he said no absurd inquiries like why does SpongeBob live in a pineapple? Stuff like that. Like it has to be like pertinent to the topic, and that's actually the first thing Shukadeva Goswami said when he started talking was he glorified Maharaj Parikshit because of how relevant his inquiries were and the topics that he brought up.
Yeah, if you're really getting into your intelligence, then it seems like you really get into relevance. Like, if you're being sincere.
What do you mean, getting into your intelligence?
Like, if you're sincerely inquiring about, with the attitude of trying to satiate your actual intelligence with the answer, wherever your intelligence is at, if you start from there and you try to, I don't know, am I wrong? What do you have to say?
No, I mean, we should use our intelligence. We can. That is not wrong. I think whatever verse that was, Krishna says one who. What does he say? One who studies Bhagavad Gita worships me with his intelligence.
Yeah.
Conversation, but yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But so that is there. But we also, it's just like, it depends more on attitude. It can be very intellectual question, it can not be very intellectual, it doesn't really matter, It's more like the attitude of asking the question. The mood of like, like really trying to hear from the person that you're asking. Like You can ask a really intellectual one or not, But, sometimes subtly we might be like on guard and not ready to receive.
Yeah.
Having like the submissive inquiry is really in the attitude. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll have to go get some medicine. I'll be back.
Okay. What time is the restaurant closed today? Do any of you guys know?
I don't know.
I think it's like earlier, right?
About 8:30 every night, but I could be wrong. Actually, I have it on my phone. Let me check.
Okay. I'm contemplating cutting the reading short for Gora Arti. We don't have to, but that sounded kind of nectar. And it's also I don't like reading in here when they have kirtan going on because it's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's 8:30.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to finish this purport. So the complete text of Srimad Bhagavatam, beginning with the Janmad Yashya verse up to the last one in the 12th canto, was spoken by Shukadeva Goswami for the attainment of salvation by Maharaj Parikshit. In the Padma Purana, it is mentioned that Gautama Muni advised Maharaj Ambarish to hear regularly Srimad Bhagavatam as it was recited by Shukadeva Goswami. And herein it is confirmed that Maharaj Ambarish heard Srimad Bhagavatam from the very beginning to the end, as it was spoken by Shukadeva Goswami. One who is actually interested in the Bhagavatam, therefore, must not play with it by reading or hearing a portion from here and a portion from there. One must follow in the footsteps of great kings like Maharaj Ambarish or Maharaj Parikshit and hear it from a bona fide representative of Shukadeva Goswami. I know it feels criminal to stop the reading now, but I think I might stop here. But if there's any points anybody wants to make, it's open for a moment, and I'm going to run to Gaur Arti just after this, so Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Joy.
So, any points? Well, it's nice, basically getting affirmed in our process here. But we heard some really powerful points. Just the power of just receiving Bhagavatam. Bona fide reciter, bona fide hearers. I personally will apologize to everyone. Like it's saying you have to hear from someone like Shukadeva Goswami. And I'm certainly not like Shukadeva Goswami. But from our spiritual masters and senior devotees, and
we're hearing Prabhupada though.
we're hearing Prabhupada. I pray to not get in between all of you and them. But another thing mentioned is just the hearing process, and by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, in the right mood, it's you contain the topmost perfectional state, which is also why it's very difficult for people to just sit and hear it.
Right.
Because it's directly like surrender, basically. So it just goes to glorify all of you who are coming every day and hearing like this. So Hare Krishna. Well, if there's no other points, then I'm going to end it.
There's one quote I really liked, but I'm trying to find it. It was basically like, for one, devotee is someone who thinks that all things spiritual comes, I can't remember how it went, you know what I'm talking about?
That it comes automatically.
Yeah.
Basically, it was like the definition of a devotee is like one who takes shelter of the Lord and knows that everything else is going to come from that.
Yeah, you get all spiritual knowledge, you're all spiritual, I don't know, it just struck me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it. If I find it, I'll post it in the group.
Sweet. Yeah, sorry to rush it all. Rush it.
Uh,
Alright, Bulbcology.
yeah. Again, just wanted to say thank you for reading always, and thank you for the association, everyone there. Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you for hearing.
Hari Hari.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and end it just for Kirtan's sake. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vanchakalpa Turubhischa Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.